Thank you for agreeing to come forward. It will give us a bit more of a break between submissions, so much appreciated.
I've got a PowerPoint as well. Right. So, as you know, my name is Melanie Coker and I'm a member of our Spraden Heathcote Community Board. Thank you for the opportunity to talk before the Council to give my personal opinion regarding the closing times of the South Pendleton and Upper Riccarton libraries. Currently, the South Library is open till 7 p.m. and the Pendleton and Upper Riccarton libraries are open till 8 p.m. and the annual plan proposes changing this to 6 p.m. with one late evening per library. Now, I believe that library hours should not be reduced at all, as the benefit of evening library hours to the residents of Christchurch outweighs the financial cost. I understand that the Council is under great financial pressure, however, Council services and facilities for residents should not be compromised. Now, I'd first like to draw your attention to the Christchurch City Library's document, which was written post-earthquake. So as you'll see on the slide and in the handout, this was called the Mapping, Measuring and Valuing the Social and Economic Benefit of Christchurch City Libraries Post-Earthquake. So this shows that access to resources, help provided by staff, literacy and learning, mental wellbeing, place of belonging, a welcoming space and business and career development where people can use computers to if they don't have them at home, to apply for jobs and write CVs is absolutely important to people using the library. How do I change that? So libraries contribute a direct economic benefit and lead to a prosperous city through successful and resilient people. So this slide was in that document there. So obviously libraries are very, very important. And the economic value of Christchurch City Libraries has been valued at basically $5 for every $1 invested in libraries, so they're very economically important. So after work yesterday evening, I went to the Upper Riccarton and Pendleton Libraries to take some photos for this presentation. So this was after I finished work. They're only a selection of photos of people. I felt a bit dodgy taking photos of people I didn't know, so I was a bit distanced away. But there was a lady there with her young children. This is 7:15 at Upper Riccarton Library. There's a number of men there using their computers. One of them on the right-hand side is an older fellow, and there's people around the back there as well. A lady working on a computer. There was another guy too I didn't take a photo of because he thought I looked a bit suspect. There was also, basically the car park was more than half full. There was about 15 people in the library. There's 4 meeting rooms there. They were booked, 3 of them were booked and they were full. They had more than 30 people in them, ethnic groups, study groups, and yes, there were some other people in there as well. A range of people probably between 5 and 60 years old. This is 7:15 at night. Pendleton Library, went there straight after 7:30. There's a range of people there using the computers. The guy in the back, it's hard to see, but he has Down syndrome, and I do see him there quite frequently. There's an older man there. That's hard to see, but there's an old lady, and it looks like her grandson there using the computers. He's showing her what he's doing. People working on computers, Wi-Fi, studying. There were other people reading, browsing, kids, older people. It was relatively busy, I thought, compared to during the day. Again, the car park was more than half full. There was probably around 25 people with a range of ages doing a range of things using the library at close to closing time. So, overall, it is my personal view that Christchurch should be a forward-thinking city, mindful of the needs of its residents, and core to this is the maintenance of services and facilities. Following the earthquakes, there was significant lack of access to libraries in large areas of the city, and all library users were affected by some degree. Let this council not be the start of a decline in service hours to Christchurch residents. My concern is that a reduction in library hours will become the norm and never be reinstated. Do we want to be a city of the future or one of the past with a 6 o'clock closing? My personal view is that more libraries should actually be open later, in particular Papanui and Central libraries. People have to be basically shunted out of there at 6 p.m. And residents of all ages use our libraries, but access for those who work 9 till 5 is limited. They have to come in straight after work. They'd have half an hour maybe, or the weekend, a Saturday, to come to use the library. Otherwise, it's not an option for them. And librarians I've talked to at libraries believe library hours should remain as they are. They believe libraries are primarily a community service. And that is my presentation.
Tim.
Thank you, Melanie. pictures showing people at computers, etc. Why couldn't they do that at home?
Because they may not everybody has computers at home. They can't afford computers. I had to give my parents, a laptop, my old laptop.
Phil?
Thanks, Melanie. I just wanted to, if you could perhaps tell us, well, and it probably is mainly Christchurch South Library, the frequency of use of the small meeting rooms that the community use, and just whether, I don't know if you've actually ascertained yet the cost, say, of how council would provide access if community groups weren't able to use those meeting rooms. Do you know?
No, I don't know.
It's something you would perhaps find
I
out.
mean, I imagine if libraries are closing earlier, the librarians would need to be there after hours anyway to open and close rooms. So you may as well have the library open during that time.
Right. The other thing I was going to ask you, and it's a pity council manager isn't here to hear me ask this, but if in fact we decide, look, we do have to reduce the hours in terms of costs, it sounds like your preference would be that they'll be open in the evenings, and other submitters have said, look, Saturday mornings are a popular time. I'm just wondering about some morning closures. So, for example, if there were some mornings during the week, so that the library's open a bit later, say 10 or 10:30, would that be workable from the way you see library users?
There are more people that use the libraries than I am, and I know that people do stand there waiting. The Summit Road Society thought they opened at 10, our one, and asked for access, and some people don't think they open until 10 a.m. anyway, so I think it is a possibility. I think just having it open in the evenings where people can have access, otherwise, they wouldn't. With the Pioneer, I know they're closing, half an hour, potentially 15 minutes either side. You could maybe reduce it by half an hour. It would be possibly acceptable. But, there's clearly people using these libraries after hours. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much. That's great. Thanks. So